I'd like to call this meeting of the Brooklyn City Council to order. Dana, will you call the roll, please?
Stephen Coyle.
Here.
Andy Selhertz.
Here.
Matt Mosley.
Here.
Aaron Borowski.
Here.
Kevin Tansky.
Here.
Sue Grodick. Here. Kathy Pucci.
Here. Will everyone please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have minutes to approve from our meeting of October 27th. Any additions or corrections? We need a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
We need a second.
Second.
Stephen Coyle.
Yes.
Andy Selhertz.
Yes.
Matt Mosley.
Yes.
Aaron Borowski.
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Sue Grodick.
Yes.
Kathy Pucci.
Yes. At this time, we will have our first public session. If anyone in the audience has anything to say pertaining to legislative items on the agenda, please step forward, state your name and address, and you will be recognized. Please remember to keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. Okay, seeing none, we will move on. We now have reports of committees, commissions, and boards. I'll begin with the Committee of the Whole report. The Committee of the Whole did meet earlier this evening at 6:15. We did read into the record all the legislative items on our agenda this evening. Everything is either on first reading or second reading, so there were no motions or recommendations needed. Additionally, we revisited our discussion from the previous meeting relating to the makeup of the Board of Control. We had a discussion on that, and I will move forward with Mr. Butler and Ms. Schroeder in drafting legislation. That completes the report from the Committee of the Whole. Next, we have Recreation Board, Councilman Tansky.
Thank you. Veterans Day breakfast with the mayor is Wednesday, November 12th at 8:30 a.m. Complimentary breakfast open to everyone, 9 a.m. Special veterans recognition and city updates to follow. Learn to Skate Holiday Camp 2025 will be held on Friday, December 5th, 12th, 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Holiday show on Saturday, December 13th, 2:30 p.m. to 4:15 p.m. Open to all skaters who have registered for sessions 1 or 2 of Learn to Skate. Skaters will learn a holiday routine to perform at the City of Brooklyn Holiday Show. Brooklyn's Learn to Skate will be held on Fridays and Saturdays, December 19th through January 31st. There are a variety of skill sets for ages 3 to 5 and ages 6 to 15. Skaters will explore fun skating skills as well as learn and focus on skills needed for a team event at local skating competitions. Registrations is now open. For pricing and additional information, please contact the Rec Center at 216-351-5334 or email recinfo@brooklynohio.gov. Public skate at the Brooklyn Recreation Center, Wednesday, November 12th and Thursday, November 13th, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and Sunday, November 16th, 2:45 p.m. to 4 p.m. Digital tickets only accepted, no refunds or exchanges for this event. Senior Center, November events include November 11th, closed in honor of Veterans Day. November 12th, bingo at 1 p.m. November 13th, Stan Hewitt guided Manor House tour. Meet at the Senior Center at 9:30 a.m., 1 hour long tour. Expect a moderate amount of walking with some stairs. Cost $20, registration now open. November 14th, Adventures of President Dwight Eisenhower speaker, Susan Convanio, 11 a.m. Screw that last name. November 18th, Mystery Lunch. Meet at the Senior Center at 11:30 a.m., space limited. Registration begins November 1st, cost $3 for bus, pay for your own meal. November 20th, Thanksgiving luncheon at 12 p.m., catered by Vinnie Carino, cost $20, registration now open. November 27th and 28th, closed for Thanksgiving holiday. The next Recreation Board meeting will be held on November 17th, 2025 in the Rec Center Meeting Room. at 7 p.m. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next is Councilwoman Grodick with the Board of Zoning Appeals and Planning Commission.
Thank you. Once again, just announcement of upcoming meetings. The November 20th Board of Zoning Appeals meeting has been canceled because of lack of applicants. The next scheduled meeting is December 18th, if there are any applications received. And then the next Planning Commission meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, December 5th, also if there are any applications received. And that concludes that report.
Thank you. School Board Liaison, Councilman Mosley.
Thank you. A couple updates from the school. The Brooklyn Cares Foundation Holiday Wish Program has started. If you're interested in donating, please contact Susie Marquez at susie.marquez at bcshurricanes.org, so bcshurricanes.org. The tentative grand reopening for the main gymnasium is Saturday, January 3rd, 2026. 4:40 and 6:30, there's a boys and girls varsity doubleheader. A couple facility updates. The transportation garage on Hurricane Alley has been freshly painted. Beginning at spring break next April, the sidewalk in front of the Board of Education entrance, the Gold Lot, will be closed to pedestrian traffic. Construction will begin on the board office and the Performing Arts Center. There should be no impact to the traffic flow at arrival or dismissal, entering or exiting on Bidoff Road. There will be a construction trailer that will be moved onto the grassy area directly in front of the board and treasurer's office during construction. Safety fencing will isolate the entire area to prevent sidewalk traffic use, and it will extend to the grass area in front of the auditorium. A couple upcoming dates to remember. November 26th through 28th is the Thanksgiving holiday break. December 4th, there's a music performance at the Senior Center at 11 a.m. December 5th, Polar Express Parent Night Out, 6 p.m. December 7th, Brooklyn Chamber Holiday Tree Lighting from 5 to 7 p.m. December 13th, Holiday Concert Extravaganza. That's an all-day event. The next school board meeting will be November 18th at the Early Childhood Center at 6:15. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Yes Committee, also Councilman Mosley.
Thank you again. The Youth Engagement and Succession Committee met just before our Committee of the Whole and Council meeting today at City Hall. Together, they discussed their 3 action items that they are working on. They are as follows: engage the youth through quarterly contests, possibly through our newsletter mailer. Have the youth sit in on a non-voting position on some of the sitting committees in the city, and engage the youth through events from spring through fall using the open space the city has, as well as our connections with other local government entities such as the library and the school. The committee expects to meet next in January of 2026. Nothing is scheduled for next month. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Now we'll have reports of council, and this evening we begin with Councilman Selchertz.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. This morning we had a meeting at the schools about leaf raking for senior residents. You can still sign up through the Senior Center through November 18th. The actual leaf raking will take place on November 25th. It will be performed for the first half of the day by 8th graders, and then the afternoon from members from the winter sports teams. Thank you to Dana for helping Chico and helping Santa to make sure that he's properly attired for Sleigh Ride Around Brooklyn, which will be on December 12th and December 13th. Thank you also to the voters who took the time to either vote by mail or in person. 22.75% of eligible Brooklyn voters voted. As Councilman Mosley mentioned, Brooklyn Cares, with the help of the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce, will be doing their annual tree lighting on Sunday, December 7th by the Brooklyn Senior Center. It's actually kind of a fundraiser for Brooklyn Cares also at that time with the trees. You can contact Susie Marquis in regards to that. Speaking of Susie Marquis, she asked me to relay a message about this Friday, November 14th. This Friday will be Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day. Join us as we celebrate courage, equality, and the power of students to make a difference. We'll honor Ruby Bridges' inspiring legacy by walking to school together in unity. Meeting location will be the Brooklyn Early Childhood Center at 4480 Ridge Road, which is the old library location. They will depart from there at 7:30 and head down Hurricane Alley to Rodone, arriving at Rodone and Hurricane Alley about 7:40 a.m. And then they will proceed south on Rodone to Bidoff and finish at Brooklyn City Schools. Any weather-related changes will be shared via Parent Square on Thursday evening, November 13th. All children are welcome to attend. The event honors Ruby Bridges, who in 1960 became the first black child to integrate an all-white school in New Orleans. Margaret Bernstein, an award-winning community advocate and literacy champion, will speak to the 5th and 6th graders after the walk. There will also be a story walk that will be given to the library to be used at Marquardt Park. Thank you to Partnership for Safe Routes to Schools in the Brooklyn community. This project is grant funded. In this meeting's edition of Where's Ready Kilowatt, little progress. We got one fixture added on Traymore. They did it. They never told us they did it. Northcliffe, where they were supposed to be completely done but somehow missed one, we put in another work request for another fixture. Kind of going on a little different track today in regards to First Energy. Had a call this afternoon from a resident on Weffel Avenue about the power going on and off constantly, about 10, 11 times last night. Please report these things directly to First Energy. It sounds like almost like Lakewood, where they always had problems with power flickering in and off. I actually attended their meeting out at Lakewood Civic Auditorium. Even the people from First Energy said, report every instance. So just be kind of, every time it flickers, get on the phone and call it in, or do an email, just report it. Just be a pain to them. Two other things. A little bit later this afternoon, a little bit before this meeting, I learned that Fran Barrett, wife of Regis Barrett, has passed away this afternoon. Regis was a council person for Brooklyn and a long time, just integral part of Brooklyn. And also my condolences to the family and friends of Irma Bogner. She passed a few weeks ago. She was a super, super friendly, nice lady that lived at the end of Ira. Her husband was firefighter John Bogner. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilman Mosley.
Good evening. Thank you, Council President. I'd like to start my report tonight, just as Councilman Silcherts did, by thanking those who voted this past general election, either by voting early, voting by mail, or voting at your polling station on voting day. I appreciate those who voiced their opinion at the ballot box. Tonight is also the second reading of our capital improvement budget. I always go out of state to visit family for the Thanksgiving holiday, and I will not be here when I expect there to be a vote next meeting. I did want to publicly thank the directors for their input during the budget session and state that I do support the budget. Lastly, tomorrow, November 11th, is Veterans Day. I would like to thank all of our servicemen and women who have served our country and wish them a happy Veterans Day. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilman Borowski.
Thank you. Good evening, Brooklyn. I as well wanted to thank all of the residents that came out this past Tuesday and voted in our local elections, be it on election day or if you voted early, thank you. Congratulations are in order to all of those that won their respective seats, and a big thank you to all of those that ran along with us. Local politics is important, and it's welcoming to see residents looking to make a difference. I'm looking forward to continuing the work that must be done to ensure that Brooklyn and its residents thrive. And a happy Veterans Day goes out to all of Brooklyn's veterans and all of the veterans we call family and friends, including Adam and Benjamin Borowski. Also, happy birthday, Ben. And a happy birthday to the United States Marines. A big thank you goes out to all of our veterans. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilman Tansky.
Thank you. Good evening. I would like to congratulate Annie Selhertz, Aaron Borowski, and Kathleen Pucci on their reelection to Brooklyn City Council. Also, congratulations to Kelly Kroll and Jason Hubble on their reelection to the Brooklyn City School Board. Special thank you to all the veterans who served our country as we honor and celebrate them on Veterans Day tomorrow. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilman Grodick.
Thank you. I'd also like to express my thanks to the veterans who have served, their families who also give a lot of themselves, and also active military right now. I know in Brooklyn we have many especially young active military. They're always in my thoughts, especially as I watch news. It isn't an easy time to serve in the military, and it must be very difficult. I'm a mom, so I will say it, especially for their mothers. So they're always in my thoughts, but especially around Veterans Day. I also would like to thank Mr. Raguse. I have a suggestion for retirement. I think you could write City Finance Simplified. I'm not sure it would be a bestseller, but it would be a good read. I appreciate you making it simple for those of us who don't have a deep understanding of city finances. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I must admit that I have Kevin Butler edit it for me, so thank you, Kevin.
And finally, I would also like to congratulate not only the local candidates who won their seats, but also to those who ran. It is difficult to run for any election. Local elections can be just as difficult as state or national because you are expected to get out and knock on people's doors every day for weeks on end. So congratulations to those who persevered through the election cycle, and it is so important to vote locally. So thank you to those voters who also voted with us. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilman Coyle.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening. Please be advised that the next Connecting and Belonging Commission meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, November 18th at 6 p.m. in the City Hall Community Room. All are welcome to attend. And then, like my fellow council people, I want to extend heartfelt gratitude to all who have served in the United States Armed Forces. As we know, Veterans Day is tomorrow, and on Veterans Day, we honor the courage, sacrifice, and steady commitment to our veterans and their families. Your service safeguards the freedoms we enjoy, and our community is better because of you. To our veterans who live or work here in Brooklyn, to the families who support them, and to our city employees who have worn the uniform, thank you. I'd encourage all residents to take a moment tomorrow to reach out to a veteran, attend a ceremony if you're able to, and reflect on the debt of thanks we owe. And this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to offer my personal condolences to the family of longtime resident Irma Bognar. Irma, as Councilman Selchertz mentioned, was the widow of retired firefighter John Bognar. Irma was very well known to many in Brooklyn as a good neighbor and friend, and she was also a very talented seamstress who helped many residents with their sewing needs. She was very bright, had a quick wit, and just a wonderful sense of humor. She lived a full and joyful life, passing at the age of 95 on her husband John's birthday. May her memory be a blessing. And my condolences also to the Barrett family on the passing of Fran Barrett. I didn't know that, so thanks, Andy, for sharing that. Council had a budget meeting last Monday, November 3rd at 6 p.m. The focus was on the general fund. Our agenda was as follows: 2025 general fund projection revenue commitments, the 2026 general fund revenue and commitments, general fund financial forecast updates, key takeaways, and going forward. And again, thank you to Mr. Raguse for all the preparation. We do appreciate the work that goes into it. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the residents of Brooklyn for their support in the recent election. I'm deeply honored to have earned the opportunity to continue to serve you on council. Your trust and confidence really mean a great deal to me, and I will continue to work hard on behalf of our community. I'd also like to recognize everyone who put their name forward to run for office. It takes courage, commitment, and a genuine love of community to step into public service. Congratulations to Councilman Tansky, Selchertz, and Borowski on your re-elections. I look forward to working with you in the next term. And congratulations also to the re-elected and retained school board member Kelly Krall and Jason Hubble. Welcome this evening to Mary Schreiber, the manager of the Brooklyn branch of Cuyahoga County Public Library. We appreciate you being here. Just a reminder that Monday, November 17th at 6 p.m., we have our training on the new board docs. And if everyone could just please make sure they review the information that Dana had sent out to us, it would be a help. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, a day set aside to recognize the men and women who've served in our armed forces. To our veterans here in Brooklyn and across the nation, thank you. Your service, courage, and sacrifice have protected our freedoms and strengthened the foundation of our democracy. Whether you served in times of conflict or peace, here at home or overseas, your commitment to something greater than yourselves reminds us what true service means. Here in our small but proud community, we are very fortunate to have many veterans among us, our neighbors, coworkers, family members, and friends. Their quiet strength and continued contributions to our city enrich us every day. Let us also remember the families of our veterans who serve in their own way, supporting their loved ones, enduring long separations, and helping them transition back to civilian life. As a council and as a community, may we continue to support our veterans, not just on this day, but throughout the year, by ensuring access to resources, by showing our gratitude, and keeping their stories alive for future generations. To all who have served, thank you for your dedication, your bravery, and your love of country. We are deeply grateful. And that completes my report. We'll move on to the mayor's report.
Thank you. In honor of Veterans Day tomorrow, City Hall and all city buildings will be closed. However, on Wednesday at 8:30 a.m., we will have a Veterans Day breakfast over at the Senior Center. All are welcome to and encouraged to attend. There, we will share a breakfast together and also honor those who are so needed to be honored. Following that, we will have a coffee with the mayor, where I'll give updates on what's going on around the city and, of course, answer any questions that anyone may have. But as many have already said, we are very grateful for our veterans, and I will echo those sentiments. A couple of updates on what's going on in the city of Brooklyn. We continue the planning phase of our Recreation Center natatorium upgrade. As it currently stands, we will be well within the budget for this project, which council set during our capital budget work session last year. The anticipated start date is still March 2026, and they hope to have things wrapped up in January of 2027. The Veterans Memorial Park upgrade continues. The pavilion work is almost done. It's really starting to take shape over there, so even though it's cold and snowy outside, I would encourage residents to take a look at it. It looks beautiful, and by this time next year, it'll all be housed and it'll be warm inside because there's going to be heaters in there. The master plan citywide survey is now closed. The mailing that was sent out a couple of weeks ago was a huge success. We saw our participation numbers increase dramatically. So thank you to the residents who took the time to complete that survey as we continue the planning for the city of Brooklyn in the future. Currently, the County Planning Commission is compiling that data, and we're set to meet later this year where they'll present that. Once we have that data, of course, we'll share it with council and the rest of the city as we endeavor to update our master plan for 2025. The townhomes that we've been discussing for the last couple of years now, that work is underway. They've cleared away the trees that needed to be cleared, and the grading work has begun. They're now working on all the logistics for that, and we would anticipate seeing buildings coming out of the ground when the weather breaks in the spring. The Brock Memorial Park is the last of our parks to receive an upgrade. The old equipment has been removed, and the new equipment is being installed. That installation should be complete sometime around Thanksgiving. And then the last piece of the Memphis Road Diet is finally complete. The Signal Service installed the final turn arrow going into the library, left into the library heading west. That was installed last week of all days on Election Day that they picked to do that, but there was a limited interruption, so we're grateful that left turn arrow was in there. And I'm sure Mary can echo that sentiment from the library as well. And also, once again, I do want to wish all our veterans a happy Veterans Day tomorrow. And congratulations to Mrs. Pucci, Mr. Tansky, Mr. Selhertz, and Mr. Borowski on your reelection. And also, Kelly's here tonight, to Ms. Kroll, and also to Mr. Hubbard on their election to the school board. I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to legislation under old business, ordinance 2025-23, which is on second reading. An ordinance authorizing the capital improvement plan for 2026 and declaring an emergency. Under new business, ordinance 2025-24, which is on first reading. An ordinance amending Exhibit A of ordinance 2025-12, providing for the compensation for the part-time, full-time, and administrative employees non-bargaining agreement of the City of Brooklyn. This is to accommodate the increase in the state minimum wage, which will be $11 in 2026, and also to accommodate the cost of living increases for our non-union staff. Ordinance 2025-25, which is on first reading. An ordinance amending Exhibit A of Ordinance 2024-27 entitled, "An Ordinance to Make Appropriations for Current and Other Expenditures of the City of Brooklyn, State of Ohio for the period January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025." Ordinance 2025-26 on first reading. An ordinance to make appropriations for current and other expenditures of the City of Brooklyn, State of Ohio for the period January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026. Ordinance 2025-27 on first reading. An ordinance creating the Brooklyn-Memphis Run East Tax Increment Financing Incentive District pursuant to Sections 5709.40, 5709.42, and 5709.43 of the Ohio Revised Code, declaring improvements to the parcels within the incentive district to be a public purpose and exempt from real property taxation, designating public infrastructure improvements to be made that will directly benefit such property, requiring annual service payments in lieu of taxes, designating a municipal public improvement tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of such service payments, and authorizing compensation payments to the Brooklyn City School District and Polaris Career Center Joint Vocational School District, and declaring an emergency. And this piece of legislation relates to the property where the townhomes will be built, which is across from the library. Next, ordinance 2025-28, also on first reading. An ordinance creating the Brooklyn-Memphis Run North Tax Increment Financing Incentive District pursuant to Sections 5709.40, 5709.42, and 5709.43 of the Ohio Revised Code, declaring improvements to the parcels within the incentive district to be a public purpose and exempt from real property taxation, designating public infrastructure improvements to be made that will directly benefit such property, requiring annual service payments in lieu of taxes, designating a municipal public improvement tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of such service payments, and authorizing compensation payments to the Brooklyn City School District and Polaris Career Center Joint Vocational School District, and declaring an emergency. And this relates to the property that's at the corner of Memphis and Rodone, across from the Westbrooks. Ordinance 2025-29 on first reading. An ordinance creating the Brooklyn-Memphis Run South Tax Increment Financing Incentive District pursuant to Sections 5709.40, 5709.42, and 5709.43 of the Ohio Revised Code, declaring improvements to the parcels within the incentive district to be a public purpose and exempt from real property taxation, designating public infrastructure improvements to be made that will directly benefit such property, requiring annual service payments in lieu of taxes, designating a municipal public improvement tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of such payments, service payments, and authorizing compensation payments to the Brooklyn City School District and Polaris Career Center Joint Vocational School District, and declaring an emergency. And this relates to the property on Rabbit Run. And for all three of these pieces of legislation, we will have a public hearing scheduled for November 24th prior to our council meeting. That completes our legislative agenda. At this time, we will have the second public session. If anyone in the audience has anything to say for the good and welfare of the City of Brooklyn, please step forward, state your name and address, and you will be recognized. Please remember to observe our 5-minute time limit. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Does anyone else have anything for council this evening? Okay, we need a motion to adjourn, please.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Adjourn, Stephen Coyle?
Yes.
Andy Selhertz?
Yes.
Matt Mosley?
Yes.
Aaron Borowski?
Yes.
Kevin Tansky?
Yes.
Sue Grodick? Yes. Kathy Pucci?
Yes, thank you.